Good morning, my dear students of class 8B. Welcome to your social science class. So, students, we are doing this chapter mineral and power resources, right? So, in the last class, we understood the meaning of power or energy. So, what is power or energy? Power or energy refers to the quantitative property that is required to be transferred to the object so that the object can perform its work, okay, or to heat the object. So students, power is one of the most critical aspects of our life. It is required in almost all the fields, be it agriculture, industry, telecommunication, defense, our household, etc. Okay. So students, we also discussed about the types of power or energy resources. So we basically have two types of power or energy resources: conventional and non-conventional resources. Okay. So what are conventional resources? So we discussed about the difference, right? So conventional resources are those which have been in use or which have been in practice for a very long period of time, okay, and they are extensively used by human beings, so much so that now they are on the verge of exhaustion. But students, the non-conventional resources on the other hand, they are quite new, they are recently developed, they are yet in their developmental phase, and there is lot more scope to use them, okay, since they are not fully developed till now, okay. And students, these conventional sources, they are costly and also they can pollute the environment, okay, they are one of the major cause of environmental pollution. But students, the non-conventional sources are eco-friendly, they do not cause any kind of pollution, also they are cheap. So this is what we discussed in the last class, right? Difference between conventional and non-conventional and the meaning of power resources. So students, today we will discuss about the various types of conventional sources of energy, okay? So students, our learning outcome for today's class will be, we will develop an understanding about the various conventional sources of energy, their meaning, their merits and demerits, and where they are located, okay? So students, the first type of conventional source of energy is firewood. Yes. So what is firewood? Firewood is the wood that is burnt and then it is used as a domestic fuel, okay. So students, in India, more than 50% of the people who live in the rural areas, that means who live in the villages, they use firewood since they do not have access to the gas stoves. So more than 50% of the people in rural areas, they cook their food with the help of, by depending on firewood, okay. The merits and demerits of firewood. So students, firewoods, they are easily accessible, they are found everywhere, isn't it? And when it comes to the rural areas, we all know that in rural areas there are lots of trees, there are forests, so it is not very hard to have access to the various forests to have firewood, okay. So they are easily accessible. And students, since they are easily accessible, they are also easily available to a large number of people. Those people who cannot afford the other sources of energy, they can easily afford this firewood, okay. So it is available to a large majority of people, especially the poor people, okay. Then comes the demerits. What are the demerits, students? So even though they are easily accessible, but to collect them it requires a lot of time. It is time consuming process, okay. And then students, they also they also pollutes the environment. It leads to deforestation, cutting down of trees, and when we cut down trees, because of deforestation, what happens? It warms up the atmosphere, isn't it? The earth gets heated up and the result is greenhouse effect. So it is not good for the environment. Cutting down of trees is not at all good for the environment. It causes deforestation, which in turn causes greenhouse effect, okay. So we discussed about firewood. Next, the various types of fossil fuels. So students, the various types of fossil fuels are also conventional sources of energy. So now, what are fossil fuels? So the fuel which is formed from the remains of plants and animals which are buried under the layer of the earth millions of years ago. Okay, so the fuel which is formed, that is known as fossil fuel. So if I ask you what is fossil fuel, fossil fuel is nothing but the fuel which is formed from the remains or from the waste of the dead animals and plants which are buried under the layer of the earth for millions of years ago. Okay, and due to the excessive pressure of heat and rain, they are finally converted into fuel, and that fuel is known as fossil fuel. So students, the main types of fossil fuels are coal, petroleum and natural gas. And students, these fossil fuels, their rate of use is very high. They are used extensively by human beings. In fact, students, the rate at which they are used by human beings is much higher than the rate at which they are formed, because it takes times to form the fossil fuels, right? But the human beings are using these fossil fuels at a much higher rate than the rate of their formation. So it is highly probable that these fossil fuels might get exhausted someday. They will become completely zero someday. Okay, so they are on the verge of exhaustion. Okay, so let us now discuss about the first type of fossil fuel, which is coal, which is one conventional source of energy. Okay, so students, coal is the most commonly and abundantly found fossil fuel. Okay, it is used as a domestic fuel, it is used in cooking, it is used in heating, and then it is also used in iron and steel industry. It is used in the steam engines, in the railway engines, and then students, coal is also used to generate electricity. And students, the electricity which is generated from coal is called thermal energy. Just remember this. Okay, the electricity which is generated from coal is known as thermal energy. Now students, how is coal formed? So coal is formed millions of years ago. Okay, it is not that it is formed recently. It is formed millions of years ago from the remains or from the waste of dead plants and swamps. Swamps means the uncultivated areas, the low-lying areas. So coal is formed millions of years ago from the remains of plants which are buried under the layers of the earth. Okay, so therefore it is known as buried sunshine. Since it is buried under layers of the earth, that is why it is known as buried sunshine. Okay, and then students, coal is mostly found in places like China, then Russia, and then coal is found in places like South Africa and France also. Okay, and in India, the major coal producing areas are Raniganj, then Jharia, Dhanbad and Bokaro in Jharkhand. Okay, so these are the major coal producing places in India. These are Raniganj, Jharia, Dhanbad and Bokaro, and in the world it is China, Russia, France and South Africa. Okay, now the merits and demerits. So students, coal is easily available and extensively available. It is available everywhere. Okay, and it can be easily converted to electricity also. And when coal is converted into electricity, the loss is very less. Sometimes what happens, when a particular commodity is converted into something else, some of its quantity is lost in the transmission process itself. But in case of coal, that loss is very less. So that means it can be efficiently converted into electricity, and the loss is minimal, very less. Okay, then demerits. Coal is polluting, that means it can cause pollution. Okay, it can cause air pollution, then it can cause various kinds of diseases, lungs diseases and all. And students, it is also difficult to be transported from one place to another, since it is bulky. Okay, it requires some space, so it is not very convenient to carry coal from one place to another. It consumes space. Okay, now come to the next type of conventional source of energy, which is petroleum. So students, petroleum is the liquid fossil fuel. Okay, so petroleum is found between the layers of the rocks. Okay, where is petroleum found? It is found between the layers of the rocks, and then it is drilled out. It is extracted from the various oil fields located both in offshore places as well as in the coastal areas. So coal is found between the layers of the rocks, and it is drilled from the oil fields which are located in the offshore places. That means the places which are located at a distance from the sea source, and also it is found in the coastal areas. Okay. And students, petroleum is a crude oil. Crude oil means it is, when it is taken out, when it is drilled out, it is in its raw form. It is unrefined. Okay, it is real. Okay, there is no mixing, so it is crude, it is raw. Okay, it is a crude oil. And then students, when the petroleum is drilled out, taken out, and the next step is to refine it, to process it. So when the petroleum is refined in the refineries, it is then used to produce various kinds of products like petrol, diesel, then kerosene, wax, then plastics and lubricants. Okay, so just remember that petroleum is obtained between the layers of the rocks. Then petroleum is a crude oil. When it is refined, it is then used to produce various other petroleum products: petrol, diesel, wax, kerosene, lubricants, plastics, etc. Okay. And students, petroleum is also known as black gold. Just like coal is known as buried sunshine, petroleum is called black gold. Why? Because of its value and worth, and because of its color. So students, petroleum is required for different reasons, isn't it? Just now I have told it is used to make kerosene, it is used to produce diesel, petrol, etc. So because of its value and worth, it is compared with gold. And there is another reason why. When petroleum is drilled out in its crude form, it is black color, it is dark black in color. Okay, jet black. But when it is refined, it turns into golden color. So that is also another reason it is known as black gold. Okay, so students, the leading petroleum producing countries in the world are Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia and Qatar. And then in India, it is produced in the places like Digboi, which is in Assam, then Mumbai, then in the deltas of Krishna and Godavari rivers. Okay, so now let us understand the merits and demerits. So students, petroleum, unlike coal, it is not bulky, so it is very easy to be transported from one place to another. And students, petroleum, it forms the basis of the petrochemical industry. That means for us to have petrochemical industry, it is very important to have petroleum. Without petroleum, there will be no petrochemical industry. Okay. And students, petroleum, it causes acid rain when it gets mixed up in the environment. Okay, so the result is it will cause acid rain, and it will also cause depletion of the oxygen. The quality of the oxygen, it deteriorates. Okay, so it can cause variety of diseases, just like I have already told you. Okay. Then students, the next type of conventional source of energy is natural gas. So natural gas is in fact obtained from the petroleum deposits itself. Okay, so when we extract or when we drill petroleum, at that moment only natural gas is released, when the petroleum is brought into the surface. Okay, so natural gas is related with petroleum in the sense that it is found together with the petroleum deposits, and it is released when the petroleum is drilled out from the surface. That means when it is brought out into the surface. Okay, and natural gas is also used as a domestic fuel. And students, the major natural gas producing countries in the world are Russia, then Norway, UK and Netherlands. Okay, and students, in India, it is found in places like Jaisalmer, then Krishna, Godavari, then Tripura, and then in offshore places in Mumbai, etc. Okay, so these are the various types of fossil fuels which come under the conventional sources of energy. So what are the different conventional sources we have discussed so far? Firewood and the three types of fossil fuels, that is coal, petroleum and natural gas. Okay, and students, these fossil fuels, they are used extensively by human beings. Okay, and the sharp increase in the consumption of fossil fuels has led to their depletion at an alarming rate. They are getting depleted, they are getting exhausted. Okay, and students, they also release toxic pollutants, harmful pollutants in the environment. There is also another issue, that means there is also another cause for concern related to the different fossil fuels. Okay, so these are the merits and demerits of natural gas. Easier to transport, then it is somewhat cleaner than oil and coal. That means compared to oil, that is petroleum and coal, it is less polluting. It also causes pollution, but comparatively the pollution that natural gas causes, it is less. Okay, and from the point of view of the price also, it is cheaper as compared to oil. Okay, and then students, the demerits are depletion of oxygen. It deteriorates the quality of the oxygen. Why? Because of oil spillage. When the oil gets spilled up, okay, and sometimes because of the leak of the gas, it gets mixed with the environment, and then it can cause harm to human life. Okay, and then it also causes acid rain. And the third demerit is difficult to explore new fuel. That means sometimes what happens, for example, from petroleum, when petroleum is taken out, natural gas is found, but from natural gas no other fossil fuel is found. Okay, so from natural gas it is very difficult to explore another fuel. Okay, from natural gas we cannot get another or a new fuel. Okay, so these are the demerits. Understood? Now students, the next type of conventional source of energy, which is known as hydel power. Yes, you heard that right. It is hydel power. So students, what is hydel power? Hydel power is the power which is generated from running water. Okay, the power which is generated from water, specifically running water, is known as hydel power. All right. So now the question is how we can generate power from water. So students, water is stored in the dams. Okay, and then when the water is stored in the dams, that water is made to fall from heights. Okay, so what will happen, inside the dams there are pipes, so water is made to fall from a height inside the dam itself, where through pipes, there are pipes inside the dam, so water is made to fall from heights inside the dam only through pipes. And where it will fall, the water will fall over turbine blades. So these are blades, like we have blades in the fans, so these are turbine blades. So students, what happens, these moving blades, you will see the picture in the textbook, there are pictures. Okay, so these moving blades, it turns the water into electricity. Okay, so when the water falls at a high speed from the that means through the pipes over the turbine blades, the blades which are moving, those moving blades, they turn the water into electricity. So that's when we get hydroelectricity, which is also known as hydel power. Okay, as students, the remaining water which is released after the generation of electricity, that remaining water is then used in irrigation, in irrigating the agricultural fields. You see, the water is utilized properly. And students, hydel power is one of the major source of electricity. 1/4 of the world's total electricity which is generated, it is from water. Okay, that means out of the total electricity that we are consuming or that we are using, 1/4 of it is contributed by water. Okay, then students, the leading producers of hydel power in the world are Paraguay, Norway, Brazil and China. And one interesting fact, the first country to develop hydel power is Norway. Okay, so which country is the first one to develop hydel power? It is Norway. And students, when it comes to India, the famous hydel power stations are Bhakra Nangal, then Gandhinagar, then Nagarjun Sagar and Damodar Valley projects. Okay, now the merits and demerits. So students, hydel power is cheap. Okay, It is not very costly. It is non-polluting. Compared to the various fossil fuels and firewood, it is non-polluting. And then students, it also promotes irrigation and fishing. When the water is left for watering the fields, agricultural fields for irrigation, then it promotes both irrigation and also fishing. Okay. Then demerits. So even though it is cheap, students, but the process of setting up a hydel power plant or a hydel power station, it is very costly. Okay, so even though the water is cheap, the source is cheap, but the setting up process is very costly or expensive. Okay, and then it can cause drought also. The chances of drought is very high. Drought means when the water is used extensively, then the chances of the area getting dry is very high. Okay, and to set up the various hydel power plants, people are displaced from their habitats, people are displaced from their place where they reside, so it also causes displacement of local community. Okay, so these are the demerits. The merits are, it is cheap, it is non-polluting, and it also promotes irrigation, which is good for the crop health and fishing. But then the process of setting up hydel power plant, it is very expensive, it can cause drought, and then it also causes displacement of the local communities. Okay, so students, that's it about the conventional sources of energy. Let us do a quick recap. So today we discussed about the various conventional sources of energy. We started with firewood. What is firewood? Firewood is the domestic fuel, the wood that is used for cooking and all, okay, for heating, etc. So then we discussed about the various fossil fuels. So fossil fuels are the fuel which is obtained from the remains of plants and animals which are buried under the layer of the earth thousands of years ago. Then the three main types of fossil fuels are coal, petroleum and natural gas. We discussed their meaning. Coal is the fossil fuel which is obtained from the remains of plants and swamps buried inside the layer of the earth millions of years ago, and it is also known as buried sunshine. And then we discussed about petroleum. Petroleum is known as black gold for its value and worth, and petroleum is also obtained just like we obtain coal. And then students, we discussed about natural gas, another type of fossil fuel which is obtained from petroleum deposits, and when the petroleum is brought into the surface, this natural gas is released. Okay, and then we discussed about how these fossil fuels are being used up by human beings at an extensive rate, so there are chances that they might get completely exhausted. And then students, we discussed about another type of conventional source of energy which is hydel power. That means the energy which is generated from running water. Okay, then students, these three are your homework questions for today. Why is coal called as buried sunshine? We have already discussed. Then second question, why is petroleum referred to as black gold for its color and worth? You need to write properly since it is for 3 marks. And then name any two regions which are rich in natural gas resources. So you can write about Jaisalmer, then Krishna Godavari Delta, then Tripura, etc. Okay, so students, you need to submit your work today itself between 8 to 9 p.m. and in case you find any difficulty, do contact me, as I always say. Okay, thank you so much students, have a nice day.